Well, welcome everybody. I will start with this quote by a Dutch writer, Gerard Rev, which published in NRC in the 80s. Why are we so deeply affected by an unpretentious painting by Ruysdael, in which the only depicted living creature is a cow drinking from a pitch in the late afternoon sun? What makes this scene appear to convey us the interpretation of an entire creation and the lot of mankind? Indeed, as art historian Jonis Spicer explained, the cow stands for the earth. The quality of Dutch livestock and the country's abundant milk production were a major source of national prosperity. The cow was seen as the embodiment of how the earth showed its wealth, the land's richness, and the gifts through agriculture and livestock. Van de Velde's white cow is literally highlighted in the picture. It's conceived as a source of prosperity and well-being. Ruben's farm in Laken is also an allegory of Earth's fecundity. Jacob Cats, a Dutch poet, wrote in 1656, "Do not scorn our Holland. We have fine cows, from which sweet milk, cream, and butter flow. Not twice a year, but twice a day, providing folk with good dairy products." That exceptional quality of Dutch livestock was also internationally acclaimed, and cattle became an important export article. Propaganda prints with the Netherlands depicted as the cash cow, milked by foreign powers. Also etchings like this one of Hendrik Hondrius, which is an illustration of the word and image in both the economical and symbolic value of the Dutch cow, in which peasants protect the most precious possession, cows, from being stolen from unknown risks. These giant inflatable cows in the picture were placed along Dutch highways during the Rotterdam Biennale of 2005, a celebration of the Polder landscape and the role of human and animals in its making. Looking at them from today, they could also well symbolize the oversized nature of the Dutch dairy industry, and as these balloons could well burst anytime. Indeed, after the end of the European milk quotas, the country saw a trend for bigger farms and more cows. And logically, more cows mean more shit, more manure. And Dutch cattle produces 80% of the total manure coming from farm animals. As a result, methane, ammonia, and phosphate emissions from dairy farming have increased. And the amount of deposition of nitrogen in natural areas is way beyond European directives. So the government was forced to take action, or at least try it, without much success, with lots of social and political unrest as a result. Overall, the country is still in a deadlock, with no housing project or infrastructure being built or advancing because the nitrogen question is not being solved. So from being a charismatic species in the Dutch polder, the cow is now at the center of all public debates. You maybe remember in the regional elections how there were even TV shows, political debates in a barn with the cows in the background. And they are pointed as the culprit of the crisis. In these past general elections, parties of the center-left proposed to reduce their population of cows from 50 to 75% in the case of the Animal Party. Of course, what is meant by reducing the population of cows is not very clear in terms of timing, process, unless with regard to ethical implications. But all this signals a broader problem with the countryside and the greater divide between urban and rural in the context of implementation of environmental policies. What is important to know is that when standing in front of this dairy landscape, this picturesque, natural look is broken by the presence of some signs that tell us that we are not looking at cows and nature landscapes, but organic technological hybrids with lots of stories behind that we must take seriously. So this project aimed to critically examine the entanglement of design and technoscientific systems with animal life in the industry, and by embracing that complexity to decenter some way the debate away from the cow. For that, I used Cowborgs' conceptualization of the assemblage of bovines, humans, robots, algorithms, and reproductive techniques as Cowborgs, in reference to Donald Haraway's influential definition of the cyborg. And this material semiotic figure, the cyborg, illustrates this implosion of fundamental and often oppressive dichotomies, such as nature-culture, body-mind, female-male, and animal-human, to name just a few. I also embrace Marisol de la Cadena's observation of cows as a relational companion species in extinction, and her call to look at practices of cow making that may foster an ethics of life, considering that even with the considerable damage caused by corporate cattle production, a world without cattle might be impossible and perhaps even undesirable. Most critically, I hear her call to look at how the genetic improvement of cattle is connected to the formation of regional bovine landscapes that more often than not modify entire territories. So through the historical research, document analysis, ethnography, and architectural drawing, this project has explored Cowborgs in the materiality of the polder, with an expanded understanding of design of the dairy system. As ecology discourse is calling for the cleaning of a harmful industrial species, that is the dairy cow, projects for rewilding are also bringing to that protected nature extinct feral cattle, the Bos primigenius, also by means of genetic crossbreeding, again exposing the great divide between what counts as nature and culture as worthy or unworthy to live. It's easy to say that factory farming, technologies, science, economy, and reproductive order of it must be undone, but how to do it with accountability and respect for all animals involved. It might not be about shrinking cows as the farmer in the cartoon did, but we must be equally creative and find what would be the new stories of the countryside. In this research, as this cow, I have find myself lost, trapped in the mud, as I try to follow all these threads, exploring the designs, motivations, and implications, and how to think with them and tell the story. So this event of today aims to foster a conversation of what forms of engagement with dairy farming, its histories, science, politics, animals, and peoples will be needed to become worldly and build more livable other worlds. Contributions to this event are organized in a sequence of 8 chapters, I call it, so not so much panel presentations, which highlight a diversity of disciplines and approaches. And today the presenters will explore questions around the cultural significance of cows and farming, processes of rural modernization, the design of animal bodies and farm buildings, the role of technology in the instrumentalization of animal labor, the planetary footprint of farming, notions of care in human-cow micro landscape entanglements, and questions of animal, feminist, and AI ethics. This structure, which also includes people from outside the Netherlands as a way to bring fresh perspectives to what seems to be a very not productive discussion in the country, embraces the multifaceted complexity of the topic, encourages cross-pollination, and invites participants and you audience to weave unexpected threads across topics.